When you were at the South African Post Office, did you ever dream of the fact that you would be CEO of South Africa's leading mobile operator?
I didn't dream about being the CEO right back then, but I always had big dreams about telecommunications, and that's why I ended up at the Post Office, because it was Post Office and telco together. So over the years I've always thought maybe I can make a difference and influence people's lives and make a difference to people's lives, and I think we've achieved that.
Dr. Alan Knott-Craig is certainly a colourful man, and he was a larger-than-life CEO of Vodacom. Was it difficult for you to step into his shoes?
Look, I've known Alan for a long time. We worked together in Telkom, and when the Vodacom opportunity came about, we started together with a small team. We put the business plans together. We started together in the network. So I've known Alan for a long time. I've learned from him. We are different. We have different ways of doing things. But I've been with the company for all his life, 15 years of it.
Peter, let's get this out of the way. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about the Sunday Times debacle and the accusations of nepotism that are being levelled at Dr. Alan Knott-Craig. What is your stance on the matter?
Look, a big company and the high trees always get the wind. So over the years, we've many times had people, either employees, disgruntled employees, or people that have employees that have left the company, or from outsiders, had issues raised. And what happened 2 years ago, two of these employees teamed up and they produced together a list of, I think it was 18 allegations against many people in the company, many issues. And this was then sent to the shareholders, and they copied the whole world. So this came to the board meeting, and the shareholders then decided, let's deal with this properly. Let's appoint KPMG to investigate the whole matter, look at all the issues. So many months went on, and finally, end of 2008, there was a special meeting, board meeting, and they looked at the report, and everything was finally closed. There were no issues. We afterwards looked at how we do business, corporate governance, how our policies, procedures feed into corporate governance, and we have made more strict some of the procedures in the company, but nothing was found that was irregular or wrong at the time, and all the matters were closed.
So it should blow over in the press relatively shortly?
I definitely think so and hope so.
After your December break, you've come back to a flurry of media headlines. The other one that it hit you right up front was the trouble in the DRC and the fighting that's taking place with your shareholders in that territory. Can you elaborate on the situation and give us clarity on where you stand with regard to the DRC at this stage?
We've been in the DRC since 2001. We got the license. We teamed up. We got married to a partner in the DRC, CWN. And we've invested in the DRC over the years. We've built a network, and we turned out to be the #1 network. So we've made really a big difference to the country, but it takes a lot of investment. Unfortunately, over the years, our partner, and they're a 49% partner, have not had the funding to also contribute their part of the relationship as far as funding goes. So we as Vodacom put in loans to the company, the DRC, and as far as I remember, you charge interest on a loan. So we've charged interest on the loans, and that's been paid back to Vodacom Group. What has now happened is we've come to the end of some of the agreements, and the company also needs to raise more capital, and we can't forever fund the business. So we are giving the indications that we need to find other funding. And if we can't find funding is difficult in the DRC. The shareholders will have to come up with money. And so what the other shareholders have now told the world is that Vodacom as a shareholder, yes, we can put in the funding, we can put in the loan, but things work differently. You shouldn't, as a shareholder, charge interest. So the discussions are around that. But I think the DRC is still a good place to be. I've always liked going to the DRC. It's a country that's got lots of potential. It's got every mineral that you can think of in the world is in the DRC. Friendly people. So I just like going there. And I think one day the DRC will be a big player in Africa. They're central, they're big, they're as big as Western Europe. So we're not going to just give up and run away.
How do you react to the mudslinging in the press when you, as CEO of the Vodacom Group, open up the newspaper and there are the accusations from your shareholder CWN in the DRC with their lawyer chomping at the bit to sue you?
I think the important thing is it is important for us to continue with the message that we are not against the DRC. We like the people there, we support the government there, and we want to continue to be a player in the DRC. I also don't want to fight over these issues in the media. It's like being married and we are having difficulty. But
is a divorce imminent?
Look, if things don't get solved in the end, divorce is always a possibility, but we're not there yet.